All right, so this is a special edition of Baker and Molasses at the Movies because it's really Baker and Penberthy. Rick Penberthy's here. Claim to fame, he ran for Congress twice.
Mm-hmm.
In Florida.
Yes.
From Tonawanda.
Western New Yorker.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
fellow upstater with me.
Yep.
And a very big movie fan. Tell your 3 movies you used to show your sociology class, because that's great.
My 3 movies for the end of the year, when we had our film festival, I'd start with Play Misty for Me, which is classic, early Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
The ending is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you can see it just for the ending. You got to see it.
All right.
And then my second follow-up movie to that was I would go with Taxi Driver. Again, Robert De Niro at his best. You can't go wrong with Taxi Driver. The classic talking to me line. I would have my kids do it for extra credit. Saw many good Robert De Niro impressions. And then the grand finale was always One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And of course, these are all R-rated movies, but we did have parental permission.
Right, of course. You had to put that in there in case you're sued later.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that contest you did, the special credit or extra credit, was great.
Right.
And that's another thing we have in common is we were fellow former teachers, and what a gift. I mean, those are lifelong memories. Those kids are probably still talking about that today. Remember when we watched that movie? That's a great thing to introduce art to kids.
Absolutely.
Film is an art.
Mm-hmm.
So today we saw Souvenir at Burns Court. Julie Haag is her name, or Hoag, wrote it and directed it. And I saw on her IMDb page that she's got 2 other movies previous that had been nominated for small awards, not big awards. But now I'm curious to go watch another one of her films, because in my mind, this film almost seemed like a first film.
Could have been, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the different...
It was very British.
It was very British, and just the different cuts she did. Like, some scenes were sort of blurry.
I saw that as part of the cinematography.
Right.
I did notice
creative.
that, and there was some spots like that, but I thought it was an interesting take, to do it that way.
And it's basically a dysfunctional relationship between a couple. We won't give too much away, but one of them has a major problem. I don't know how much I want to give away. I don't like to spoil it. But definitely a dysfunctional relationship movie.
And I would say with the characters, you either like them or loathe them.
Right.
It was, right from the start.
Right. And it stars Tilda Swinton's daughter, whose name escapes me right now. But
something Swinton.
Yes.
Something Swinton. Something.
Yes. Swinton Byrne. I don't remember her first name. And then Tilda's in it too. A small role, but still great.
Very good role for her.
She can just do any type of appearance,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
She's amazing. She plays an older woman in this.
And she plays an older woman in this one, but I want to go see her in the zombie film because she is coming up in another film.
Jim Jarmusch movie's coming up.
It looks fantastic. Yeah. She's just a classic actress.
Yeah, she can do anything.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie? I think it was called Running with Scissors.
Yes.
I could be wrong though.
It sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh no, actually, you know what? It's called The Bigger Splash. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm thinking I saw one called Running with Scissors.
Okay, no, there was that movie, and I don't know if she was in that, but she was in this movie, The Bigger Splash, with Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
And Don Johnson's daughter, Dakota Johnson was in it. Great film. And Tilda can do anything. She can do sexy. She can do she was a matron in this one. She can do all sorts of characters. I like her a lot.
Great actress.
I can't say I love this film. I was intrigued by it.
Well, of course, a dysfunctional relationship is always interesting.
Right.
And
that we've
a lot of times you can relate.
Yes, you can. Yeah, even though you're screaming at the screen, no, don't.
But it was the characters were pretty well drawn, I thought, and some the flashbacks, well, not really flashbacks, but story in itself, other than the story of the relationship between the characters, the other parts of the story were an interesting draw as to the whole movie making experience.
Right.
You know.
And I don't know, tell me if this is a kooky message to get from it. I sort of drew from it's set in England, and of course they have a problem there with terrorism, like all countries do at this point, but I thought it sort of set a message like the reason why people cling to each other in dysfunctional relationships could be that fear of you don't know what the world is doing anymore, so you better stick with this person.
It's an interesting take. It's an interesting take on it.
I don't know if you saw that into it, but
I think in the case of Julie, the young girl, it was just kind of. I got the opinion that it was like maybe a first major relationship for her.
Right.
And so that was a part of it to me, maybe the sticking together type of thing.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, and there was foreshadowing as far as her being an enabler, because her first roommate she didn't make him pay rent.
Right.
So there was sort of foreshadowing there that she might get run over a little bit.
No, and again, she was a great young actress. So you're going to see some good movies from her because she really was a great young actress.
Yeah, she was great.
Well,
as well as the loathsome boyfriend. He was good too.
No,
very good.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was an interesting crowd.
It was.
The demographics in there, because I think some people, and they laughed actually, the couple that was sort of behind us, talking out loud, like it was their living room. And then we had the nice gent up to our right who turned around twice and said, quiet, please.
Yes.
And I was actually glad he spoke up, because that's one of my pet peeves. Yeah. I mean, you already had trouble sort of understanding
a little bit
the dialogue because it was quiet.
Yes.
And then you had people talking. So I was glad some people left. They needed a more concrete movie. This was not concrete.
No. One thing I did notice is I don't know, just ubiquitous smoking.
Oh, I noticed that too.
I mean, it was most of the characters smoked.
Yes.
Nonstop. A lot of them, I even noticed the classic chain smoke where you have one in the thing. And I don't know, I guess you just don't see that in movies that much anymore.
No, but you know what? It's funny. I wonder if that's London too.
I didn't really say. I don't know if it was London. Major British city.
Right, but I wonder if that's just more. You know, I noticed a lot of smoking in Florida that wasn't up north either, too. And I don't know if that's. Maybe it's just the area.
I don't. It was just like it seemed like every character.
Because you're right. Because for a while, I think movies tried to not show smoking to try to set good modeling. And I think it's making a comeback. Smoking in movies, because it seems like I've seen a couple movies.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
It was very realistic, you know.
Right.
But that was just one thing that caught my eye.
Yeah. You're right.
About just about every character, with the exception of Julie, and
that's true.
The mother.
Yep.
There was a lot of smoking, which I know you just don't see that much in movies anymore. You know?
All right. Well, thank you.
Overall, it was great. I loved it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Right.
We better get to our dessert before it melts.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank
Rick.
you.
All right. Bye.